Welcome to For the Love of Books, a podcast by Lanarkshire Libraries.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Lanarkshire Library podcast For the Love of Books. My name is Chris Wilson and I'm the E-Services Librarian for Lanarkshire Libraries, and we are in a new season of the podcast, so it is a great honour to be back, and we really love coming to you and telling you guys all about the library service and things like that. So we're starting off a season by finding out a little bit about what's going on just now, because we have been doing lots of great stuff with authors and got lots of author visits that have just happened or are about to happen as well. So we'll kind of update you on that and let you know a little bit more about what you can get involved in. So just in the last few days, we have had a visit from Alyssa Swaby to View Park Library, and they've had a great little crowd there to listen to that. And her book, Ginger and Me, is focused in the Uddingston area, and it's a great little book for anyone who wants to pick that up and read it. And the crowd there got a great little session with her to find out a little bit more about that book as well. We have also got a fantastic name coming along to Bellshill Cultural Centre. Chris Brookmeyer, the absolute superstar of Scottish writing, is going to be coming along to Bellshill Cultural Centre, and that is going to be coming. He's going to be coming along on Monday, the 13th of March at 7 p.m. So you can call the library at Bellshill Cultural Centre to come along to that, and it's bound to be a fantastic event. He's a great speaker, and as well as being a great writer. And he's going to be discussing his latest novel, The Cliff House, as well, which sounds like a fantastic novel. It's about a hen party that goes to a private island, and it all gets out a bit of control a little bit. The guests are left there on the island by a helicopter, and they're left there alone, or so they think. So it sounds like a fantastic novel to get into and read, and I'm sure any Chris Brookmeyer fan will absolutely love it. Chris Brookmeyer is also making a little bit of a second appearance under his guise of Ambrose Parry, which he also does with another author as well, whose name is, and I'm going to butcher this probably because I'm pretty sure I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but it's Marissa Hatzman as well. And he writes, they jointly write under the pseudonym of Ambrose Parry to write some historical crime novels set in Victorian Edinburgh, and they are fantastic novels, really, really good. And they'll both be appearing at Airdrie Library on Tuesday, the 28th of March at 2 p.m. as one of the New Tricks events. That is quite fully booked already, but there may possibly be a few spaces if you're lucky to get involved in that one as well. We also have a really interesting event happening at Motherwell Library as well, where Gordon Young will be visiting the library, and he'll be getting interviewed by Daniel Gray. Gordon Young is a football coach. He was involved with Motherwell Football Club as a youth coach, and he also had brief spells in charge of both Motherwell and Dundee United, and he's more recently been the assistant manager of Cove Rangers and Hartlepool as well. He's had quite an eventful career so far. He has travelled across to America and worked there for a time, and also been in Latvia as well, which is not known as being a hot spot for Scottish for football, but you know, getting new experiences and things like that as you travel around the world. And so he's going to be talking about his experiences in his career with Daniel Gray at Motherwell Library on Monday, the 27th of March at 7 p.m. And again, to book to come along to that, just call the library or pop in and let everybody know you want to come along, and you can come along to that as well. So it sounds like a great event for any football fans out there to not to be missed if you want to come along to that. And obviously with the local connection to the local team there in Motherwell, I'm sure there'll be lots of people who might be interested in coming along to see Gordon Young talk at that as well. And his book that he's recently released is called License to Skill, so it sounds like a really good little look at his career, which has been quite varied and looks a really interesting one. We have also been given the opportunity by BorrowBox to allow you guys to come along to an online event as well on Wednesday, the 22nd of March at 5 p.m. And that is to have another fantastic author, Anne Cleves, online. And so there's details of how to sign up to this event on our website if you go to culturenl.co.uk/libraries/what's-on-libraries/Anne Cleves. I know that's quite a mouthful of a URL, but you'll find it in there. If you go to the What's On section of the library bit in the Culture Training website, you'll find it. And so Anne Cleves is going to be in conversation on Zoom, and you guys can register to come along. It's sure to be a fantastic little talk from a massively successful author, and it's a UK-wide event, so it's not just North Lanarkshire people who will be in the virtual audience for that. It's a UK-wide event for all BorrowBox's customers to be able to come along and be part of. And it sounds like a fantastic event as well. And there's lots and lots of great stuff like that happening all across the library service. And so it's just a great time to be involved. And we're going to also hear a little bit more about what's been happening at Coatbridge Library, specifically from the librarian there, Thomas, who did catch up with me a little bit earlier on. And he had a great little bit of insight into who might be visiting Coatbridge Library soon, and also tell us a bit more about some of the other events that's been going on in there as well, and what you can look for in the future. So here's Thomas now. So hi Thomas, welcome back to the podcast as well. And it's great this is our first episode back of the new season, so hopefully it'll be a good wee kind of run of episodes we've got going. As part of New Tricks at Coatbridge, Thomas, we've got Billy Kay coming along to Coatbridge Library, haven't we?
We do, Chris, and can I just say it's great to be back as well. We've got Billy Kay coming on the 15th of March at 2 o'clock. That's a Wednesday, and he's going to be here. Billy Kay, obviously, it's brilliant that we've got him. He's like a national treasure. Billy Kay, he's forgotten more about Scottish history and about Scotland than most days ever knew. So having him here, he's it's just a brilliant raconteur, brilliant anecdote teller, really funny, really smart, switched on guy. We're so excited to have him here. It's going to be magic.
Fantastic. And what sort of discussion do you think that the crowd can expect to come along to that event? What do you think they can expect to hear along when you come along?
Well, when I first spoke to Billy about coming over, the thing I thought was, like, Billy is one of these people who's got an anecdote about everything, every place in Scotland. He knows a place back to front like the back of his hand. So I said to Billy, look, what do you think? I mean, Coatbridge wise, what have you got in store? Coatbridge wise, what have you got in the bank? And he said, well, like, you've got St Patrick's Day coming up soon, and Coatbridge has obviously got a strong Irish roots. Yep. He said maybe I could talk a wee bit about the Irish immigrant experience in Scotland and the Irish diaspora in Scotland. And I said, oh, that would be brilliant. That is absolutely superb. It's just the sort of thing that we'd love to hear in the run-up to St Patrick's Day. So Billy's going to talk about the Irish diaspora in Scotland. He's going to talk a wee bit about the Scottish diaspora across the world. Billy knows so much about not just Scottish people, but about people with Scottish roots. Everybody who's ever done anything in the world that's made things a wee bit better, a wee bit easier, a wee bit more exciting for folk, Billy Kay knows about it. So that's going to be the general gist of it. But knowing Billy, it'll be wide ranging. And if anybody's got any questions, I think he'll be happy to talk about virtually anything else to do with Scotland and social history and, well, basically anything. Especially Dundee United, although maybe not so much Dundee United than now.
Yeah, no, that's a touchy subject probably for him at the moment. But having lived in Coatbridge myself, I know how much of a big thing St Patrick's Day can be in Coatbridge. So I'm sure that is going to be a fantastic discussion there with Billy as well. And it's pretty much the star event of the kind of current run of the new Tricks events that you guys have got going on at Coatbridge just now, isn't it? A quite successful set of events.
I think that's fair to say. We've had some great events so far, and we've got some more great events coming. But obviously, getting Billy, like I say, is a national treasure. He's written so many books. He's a TV presenter, broadcaster. If you've not seen him or heard him on the radio, you must have put your head under a rock for the last 30, 40 years. It's a real catch for us, a real coup for us to get him over here, especially seeing he's away over on the East Coast. So for us to lure him over here to Coatbridge to talk to us about something that's really relevant to Coatbridge, it's absolutely brilliant.
And we've recently added another new Tricks event to the set of Coatbridge events at the moment. It's a paper crafting class as well. Is that on the back of how popular the card making one was that we had recently? Because if you haven't seen the cards that were produced by the card making class, you need to go on our social media. They are fantastic, and I was very impressed whenever Thomas sent me through the pictures for it. So is it kind of on the back of that kind of appeared from?
That's absolutely right. I know. I'm glad that you've said that about the cards, because I was super impressed by how accomplished we had the people who were here. I think one of them had made a card before. The rest of them, they were totally newbies to it. You wouldn't be able to tell for the
Really?
results. Oh, aye. Well, I have to say the credit for that goes to your library supervisor, Jenny, who ran the card making class and is going to run our paper crafting class as well. She's a superb teacher, and she put a lot of planning and effort and thought into it, and making sure that it was going to be as easy as possible for the new people to make a card that was something they'd be willing to send out to folk. And there's no one of those cards you wouldn't be happy to get for your birthday or Christmas or whatever.
No, definitely not. I mean, not that we're bigging them up here too much, because I mean, if you go on social media and see them, you will probably agree that you could buy those in the card shop and not expect any like them to be handmade from someone who's never made a card before, for sure. So totally. They look fantastic.
Aye, totally. We're thinking about selling them, to be honest, getting up the whole library gig, forgetting the whole books and just selling cards. You know, they're absolutely
become a new card shop.
So. Exactly. So everybody who was involved in the card making class was really keen for us to do something like that again. We didn't think we'd be doing it this soon, but we thought we had one more week before the end of the New Tricks programme. This seemed like a good opportunity to do this again. And obviously, if it goes well again, and I'm sure it will, and I'll make sure that social media, you get some stuff on social media from whatever gets produced in the second paper making class. But we're hoping that this is going to be something that'll be a regular fixture at Coatbridge Library.
Yeah, fantastic. That sounds absolutely amazing. And we're kind of in the midst of quite an exciting little period for the libraries, because we've got quite a lot of author events happening at the moment. We've got Billy Kay coming, and we have got Chris Brookmeyer coming soon to Bells Hill Cultural Centre, and his alter ego Ambrose Parry, along with Marissa Hasman. I probably butchered that surname, so sorry if I have. Coming to Airdrie, and also Gordon Young coming to Motherwell as well. Just to mention a few, and we've also had quite a few just in the last few days as well, which is fantastic. But Coatbridge, you also had a children's author quite recently as well, didn't you? So it's not just the adults that are getting to experience the kind of authors coming in. There's quite a few children's events as well.
That's absolutely right. Aye, Chris, we had Victoria Williamson here at Coatbridge Library this week, and she was talking to some primary fives from our near neighbours, Greenhill Primary School up the road. And Greenhill is a fantastic school. In fact, all our local schools are brilliant. But this particular class were so engaged and enthusiastic about what Victoria was here to talk to them about. And what Victoria was here to talk to them about was partially her book Hagstorm, which is set, well, the hero of the book is a young Robert Burns, and it's kind of like a sort of precursor to Tam O'Shanter, a sort of a prequel, if you like. So Victoria was talking to them about Hagstorm, and where that segued, where that went, was Victoria had brought in quite a lot of household items that Robert Burns would have probably used back in the 18th century himself, and was asking the Greenhill kids to guess what they were. So, she's showing them a carpet beater, getting them to guess what a carpet beater is, showing them a flint and steel, showing them candlestick holders. And the kids were actually, I have to say, were brilliant at guessing what these things were. They did such a good job of working 99% of them out. But their favourite, as you'd expect, was the Tawse. And the Tawse is probably something that some of your listeners will have had direct experience of, unfortunately, is what you would more commonly call the bell. And obviously, you don't get them in classrooms now, but the kids at Greenhill were absolutely beside themselves to find out that there was ever a time where this big heavy piece of leather was used to discipline kids. And so they were all having a go with that. They had a wee chair out and they were all slapping this chair with this Tawse.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully they weren't hitting each other with it.
we had to clear a 10-foot radius circle around whoever was using it, because they were really gone for it. And the whack when it hit the chair, I think it's certainly, it's not often that kids are made to feel grateful to be around at this particular time with the pandemic and what the rest of. But I think Greenhill kids were certainly grateful to be at Greenhill now rather than 40 years ago when they heard the thump of that thing hitting the chair.
Yeah, I think I think we've all probably got an elderly relative who has told us some kind of horror story of receiving the belt at some kind of time at school and things like that. And I know that I certainly was happy to not have that as a thing whenever we were at school for sure. So
It just
yeah.
looks totally innocuous, Chris. It looks like one of the leather bookmarks you used to get. You think that can't hurt if you get hit with it. Boy, it sounds like it hurt.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine for sure. That all sounds fantastic, and it sounds like it's been a really great interactive session as well. And it's really been great to see so many schools kind of getting involved in things recently. Obviously, there has been World Book Day recently, and there's been a lot of visits to the libraries based on that, sparked from that, and we've been getting tagged on Twitter and things for lots of photos of visits. It's been really fantastic to see, and that kind of interactive session that obviously you've had there, Thomas, has been really, really good, and it's had a wee bit of a unique set part to it with people being able to get hands on with some unique items and stuff like that. So that's been great. It's been really good to hear some of the great events that are coming up as well at the Coatbridge Library as well. So if anyone is interested in coming along to the Billy Kay event, you can come along on March 15th. You can book a place to make sure you can definitely get in by calling the library on 01236 856 444, or by just mentioning it and passing whenever you're in the library in the lead up to it. And even on the day, if you do fancy kind of just dropping in to see if there's a space, do feel free to come along and have a wee look and see if you can get in. So it sounds like you've got lots of great events happening, Thomas, and thank you for coming and telling us all about it.
Another fantastic event that's happening in our libraries, which isn't an author event, but there has been a lot of interest in recently, is that we are going to be launching very, very soon a memory room at Airdrie Library. There's a section of the library that has been set up to have a kind of nostalgic feel to it, set in the kind of 50s and 60s. There's some comfy old chairs, some old artifacts and things like that set about where you can go into that section of the library, relax, have a flick through what's set out in the area, and just reminisce about time gone past, or maybe even experience a little bit about how life was like, what life was like in that time period. It's a fantastic little area that's been set up, and it looks brilliant. Massive interest online whenever we announced the launch date, which is going to be on Monday, the 13th of March, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we would most happily have you guys come along if you're available to come along, if it's something that sounds interesting to you guys. I'm sure it'll spark a lot of memories for anyone who comes along. And there's also the chance to hear from storyteller Jerry Durkin, who will be at the library from 11 a.m. at two times, 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. And there will also tea and chat as well all day long as well. So there'll be a great opportunity to come along and experience some really interesting and quite a unique little section of a library with our memory room that we've been set up at Airdrie. So that's another fantastic little thing that we've got going on there. I hope you've enjoyed listening to what we've got happening in our libraries of late, and we are back with another podcast series, so we've got lots of stuff to tell you about in the weeks to come, and I hope you will enjoy listening to them and have enjoyed listening to this one. Don't forget, you can leave us some feedback if you use the hashtag FLB podcast, or you can drop us a little email to librarypodcast@northland.gov.uk. But that's all we've got for time for now, guys, and we hope to see you again soon, and thanks for listening. Bye for now.